This video chart presentation Response Genetics Inc. It's a NASDAQ listed stock, traded ticker RGDX. Running several scans this morning looking for a chart to pick. And this one came up in 3 different bullish scans. And that's because of the up day on Thursday, up almost 7%. The fact that it's a bottom play, trying to roll off a support down here at $1.09. And because of this noticeable increase in volume over the last 3 weeks. So I'm going to take a quick run through the indicators and discuss what I'd look for in a chart like this going forward. Of course, you see the MACD driving back towards zero. Not actually officially bullish until it breaks back through zero, but the rise in the MACD back towards zero as the price per share is still slipping off is a positive divergence, and that's an optimistic sign for a trend reversal. Coming off a bit of a PPO ADX pinch, not super deep by any stretch of the imagination, but that basic formation is a good reversal pattern. Looks like the positive and negative DIs are going to change positions for the first time since even briefly making that move back at the beginning part of November. ADX itself coming downward, and that's giving hints the negative direction of the chart is losing some steam. Nice upward move in the MFI. Of course, I'll be looking for these longer term MFIs, the red and gold lines, 14 and 21, to break back over and hold over top of 50. Show people are paying higher prices for the stock over average periods. A lot of selling indicated by the accumulation distribution over the last 6 months. Pretty sharp downward trend, but looks like it's trying to find a bottom now. I'll look for that to hold. Not necessarily break a trend line, but start to move upward to show that there's some stronger buying pressure coming into the play. Shake and money flow right at zero. That tells me that over the last 20 periods, buying and selling pressure is essentially equal. CCI just now breaking back above zero. Tells me that the current price has moved above its 20-day mean. Full stow still down in bear chart territory where it's been for several months, but moving upward recently. Again, I want to see it on the upper half of the indicator. That tells me that bullish momentum is being sustained in the play. In the tricks, very slow moving gauge of trend, early on but starting to climb back upward, essentially showing that the negative pressure is wearing thin. Again, common theme through here, been holding below 50, no bullish pressure to speak of in the chart, but now kind of right at that key point, trying to break back through 50, similar to through here, and the 7 alone breaking through 50 is not enough for me. I want to see the red and gold lines, the 14 and 21 RSIs, move above 50 and hold that position to show that there's a stronger momentum in the play. I'll go ahead and note this bottom support at $1.09, but I think going back historically, I'd look into this area right there around $1.16. That would be the support point I'd really have my eye on right now. Early on in 2013, that was holding as support. Even late in the year, went down near that level, pulled back up in November, did it again at the end of the month in the beginning part of December, and once it dipped down to $1.09, pretty much pulled right back up to that point and held it again as support. So that would be the key level I'd be looking for the first level of support, and it keeps the stop loss a little bit closer to Thursday's closing price of $1.24. Now to the resistance side of things, it's a little bit scattered through here. If we go back historically again, that tells me to start looking right through this $1.35 area. Again, early on in 2013, that was resistance. Classic TA fashion, once that resistance was broken, it held as support. Was ultimately the start of the climb in this stock, all the way up to highs of 293. And I don't know what happened here. I'm guessing, obviously, with the genetics, this is the biotech stock. Easy guess that's news-driven. But when it made that plunge and tried to bounce, that area started serving as resistance again. So that'd be the first spot I'll be looking for to see if it's going to continue to take on upward pressure. Beyond that, definitely some more coming in play up around $1.50 or so, based upon an old resistance point. And the bounce point where the highest it made in November was up to $1.50. I also pay attention to this blue line, the 50-day moving average. It's a little bit lower now. That's always a key point in technical analysis for the price per share to move above the 50-day, which nearly always serves as some dynamic resistance. So just pay attention to that. It's going to continue downward. It might lend to some resistance right in this area of $1.40 as it continues to move downward. So it's a little bit of a moving target to where it's going to play in with some static resistance. But if a break above this $1.35, $1.37 mark happens, from a static standpoint, I'd be looking up around $1.50 for resistance to pick back up. As I mentioned, volume has picked up since the beginning part of December. 524,000 shares traded on Thursday. That's certainly above 3-month averages, and the general uptick in volume is enough just to say pay attention to me. 1, to see if there's some selling going on in the stock, and 2, to see if people are seeing this as a buying opportunity. So it'll take a little bit of evaluation going forward, but an increase in volume is certainly worth noting. So a lot of things going on with the Response Genetics chart, but as long as this support can stay intact, I think it's one worth keeping an eye on going forward to see how it performs. As always, merely my interpretation of the RGDX chart. Thank you for watching. Trade smart.